Hi, I'm Ellen. Welcome to my world of cats. You know how everybody thinks cats are so mysterious? They have this aura of enigma around them. Well, I've got a secret about cats. It's their tails. Yes, you heard that right. Tails are the ones really in charge. Don't believe me? Just watch them closely. Let me tell you about my friend's cat, Mittens. She's quite the character. Mittens is a fluffy gray cat with big green eyes. She looks totally innocent, like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. But don't let that fool you. There's more to her than meets the eye. Her tail, now that's where the real action is. It's always on the move, always plotting. They call him Whiskers, but we'll get to why that's funny later. Trust me, it's a story worth waiting for.
Whiskers is a sneaky one, always up to something, always on the prowl. He's always twitching and twirling, plotting the next adventure. You can see it in his eyes. Mittens, she's just along for the ride. Literally, she follows Whiskers everywhere.
Whiskers likes to pretend he's just a tail, but I know better. He's got plans. He's the brains of the operation. Always thinking, always scheming. Mittens wouldn't even get out of bed without him. They're quite the dynamic duo. One day, Mittens was lounging on the windowsill, basking in the warm sunlight that streamed through the glass. She was in her usual spot, her favorite place to relax and watch the world go by. Sunbeam, nap time, you know the drill. Boring. But today was different. Whiskers had other plans. He was feeling particularly adventurous and restless. He saw the window was open just a crack. Time for an adventure. His heart raced with excitement as he imagined the possibilities that lay beyond the window.
Whiskers started to twitch. His tail flicked back and forth with anticipation. He thrashed back and forth, unable to contain his excitement. The thrill of the unknown was calling to him. He even brushed against the window latch. The slight movement made the window open a bit more.
Mittens, startled awake, suddenly felt a surge of energy. She had been in a deep sleep, but now she was wide awake and curious. She thought, I wonder what's outside. The world beyond the window seemed so intriguing and full of possibilities. Before she knew it, she was squeezing through the window after her tail. The cool breeze and the scent of the outdoors filled her senses. Whiskers led the way, his white tip like a flag of freedom. He moved with confidence, eager to explore. They were on their way to explore the great outdoors. The garden was their playground, and the adventure had just begun. Another time, Mittens was sleeping soundly. Whiskers, however, was wide awake. He spotted a ball of yarn sitting on the coffee table. Ooh, tempting. He just had to have it.
He started to swing back and forth like a pendulum. He gently batted Mittens' nose. Wake up, sleepyhead, he seemed to say. Look, yarn.
Mittens' eyes popped open. Yarn! Her favorite! She pounced on that yarn ball like it was a mouse. Chaos ensued, yarn everywhere. Whiskers, of course, pretended to have nothing to do with it. Section 4, The Daring Feather Chase. This is a tale of excitement, agility, and pure feline fun.
Now, this next one is my favorite. It's a story that never fails to bring a smile to my face. Whiskers loves a good feather chase. He gets so excited, his eyes light up, and his tail twitches with anticipation. He knows it drives Mittens wild. The way he teases her with the feather, it's like he's saying, catch me if you can.
So one day, he spotted a feather toy on the floor. Game on! His eyes locked onto it, and you could see the determination in his stance. He whipped back and forth, back and forth. His tail was a blur of motion, a sign of his intense focus. He even puffed up, making himself look twice as big and scary. It was his way of showing he meant business. He was a furry, white-tipped hurricane. His energy was boundless, and his enthusiasm was contagious.
Mittens couldn't resist. She was drawn to the chase, her instincts kicking in. She chased that feather like her life depended on it. Her movements were swift and graceful, a true hunter at heart.
Up the furniture they went, Whiskers leading the charge. His agility was impressive as he navigated the obstacles. Over the sofa, under the chairs, around and around. It was a scene of pure chaos and joy. It was a whirlwind of fur and feathers. The room was alive with their playful energy.
Whiskers, of course, made sure they won in the end. His triumphant expression said it all. Victory was his, and he relished every moment of it.
Section 5, The Perils of Catnip.
Catnip, the secret weapon of cat owners everywhere. But little do they know, it's also the secret weapon of mischievous tails.
One sniff of that stuff, and Whiskers goes bonkers. He twitches and thrashes, sending Mittens into a frenzy. She rolls around, rubs on everything, and chases after imaginary creatures.
Whiskers just watches, his white tip quivering with amusement.
The catnip wears off eventually, leaving Mittens sleepy and confused. Whiskers, however, is already plotting his next move. He's got to keep things interesting after all. Section 6, the tail always wins.
So, there you have it. The secret life of a cat's tail. They're the real masterminds behind all the feline fun. Don't let those innocent eyes fool you. It's all part of the tail's plan.
Next time you see a cat, take a closer look at its tail. You might just catch a glimpse of the mischief in its twitch.
And if you see a fluffy gray cat with a white-tipped tail, watch out. That's Whiskers, and he's always got something up his, well, tail.